No, not particularly. Jimmy Carter, let's go back all the way till before you were born, probably in 1976. Carter won, and part of his campaign promise was that he would declassify all the secret UFO files. But guess what? He became president, and during the transition, he asked that the outgoing CIA director, a man named George Bush Sr., to brief him on this. And George Bush Sr. said, "Get lost. We're not going to tell you anything." That's true, and this is in the movie. Now, the result of that was that Jimmy Carter realized that there was this, let's call it the deep national security state, these unacknowledged special access projects, which really are operating outside the Constitution. And, you know, it's a very frightening thing for people to realize when they take this issue seriously. And believe me, the people I have met with who are admirals and generals and members of the Senate, Intelligence Committee take it very seriously, but they will admit we're not really briefed on this issue. And to the extent we know about it at all, we have no control over what those projects are doing. So this gets into, well, how the hell does this get out of control and how do we fix it? And that's what we're trying to engage in a debate. It's not just documents. We have thousands of pages of documents, and it's programs and operations.
Yeah.
So if you have, and you know, the name of the movie comes from unacknowledged special access projects. Now everybody knows what a SAP is. You know, it's a compartmented intelligence program, very secret. These are the ones that are unacknowledged. I mean, they're off the books. No one even acknowledges they exist. And Donald Rumsfeld himself, the day before 9/11. We have a videotape, it's in the movie, where he says there's $2.3 trillion unaccounted for in the Department of Defense budget. So President Trump would run into a lot of the same problems Jimmy Carter ran into and others have run. And that is, they may get a certain amount of information on the issue, but do they have operational control over it? Mm-hmm. And people conflate those two things. They think, well, the president's been told, but then if the president gives an order, are they going to listen? And the answer so far has been, no, they will not. And that was the frustration that you heard from Eisenhower when he gave his farewell address of beware the military-industrial complex. And I might add, one of the interesting papers we found, the letter that went to Congress and was in the New York Times in 1961, I believe it was, from Admiral Roscoe Hillenkoetter. He was the first CIA director in 1947. And he talks about how Air Force and other senior military intelligence people are very concerned about this, but the secrecy has become a threat to the national security. He did not say the UFOs were a threat to the national security. He said that the secrecy is a threat to the national security, and this from the pen of the very first CIA director. So I tell people, look, don't take my opinion for this. What we did in this movie, and in the book, by the way, has about 10 times more information than the movie. It's come out the same time. It's everywhere, Barnes & Noble, wherever. But I think that, to me, is more exciting, is to understand that all these people who really know what this is on the inside, they're not that concerned about the ETs. They don't think that they're here to sort of invade and do anything harmful. I think Time Magazine last week had that as one of their main cover stories. If, you know, ETs are out there, they're not going to do anything. They're probably evolved enough. There's nothing here they need. But the secrecy has become a threat to our democracy. But by keeping the technology secret, we're basically living in the 1800s. I mean, you and I are talking on this system, but you're plugged into a coal-fired power grid and utility grid circa 1880s, 90s, 1900. That's just a fact. Your car, 1888 Mercedes, jet engines, early ones, 1930s, rockets, 1940s. Bang. Everything stopped after that. So I tell people, one of the chapters in this movie is the lost century. We have a whole century of lost technology and lost evolution. And now we're paying the price, you know, with geopolitical upset and also this huge problem we have with environmental decay and geophysical decay.